スタートします。Okay, now I think you can see me. Hi everyone. I guess it's good morning for people in Japan and good evening and later tonight for people in America and Europe. Hi, my name is Chris from UniCask. I think you remember me from last broadcasting with Gordon Wright from Kingsbury and talked about Springbank 1991. Today we are excited and interested, I think for you too, to come here in羽生Distillery, located in Japan, Saitama. It's raining today, but I think inside the羽生Distillery it's warm and nice. So let's get started. And this will be two language live streaming, which means it's being English and Japanese. I hope you enjoy this. And please, if you can see, there is a QR code on the screen. This is actually the QR code's address for our newly opened UniCask app, web app. So please scan and log in and register first. I think we're going to roll out the purchasing part and the gamification part later on this year, and definitely get you to buy one of the UniCask NFTs by the end of this year. 皆さんこんにちは。UniCaskのクリスタイです。今日は非常に楽しみにしてた羽生蒸溜所に来ております。前回皆さん多分覚えていらっしゃるのはスプリングバンクの1991年の春をですね、キングスバリーでゴードナイトさんと一緒に紹介して放送してたと思うんですけれども、今回は第2弾としてですね、今日は羽生蒸溜所で作られている樽、そしてこの作成のプロセスをですね、皆さんに公開をして、ぜひ楽しんでいただければというふうに思っております。ではですね、まず、今日の羽生蒸溜所の島崎さんをご紹介する前に、まず私たちの、画面上に入っているこの QR コード、これは私たちが、もうすでにユーザー登録がですね、可能なアプリの方でユーザー登録のQR なんですけれども、それをスキャンいただいて、UniCask のですね、アプリにユーザー登録していただければというふうに思っております。では、私の方の紹介は以上で、今日のメインの私たちの、案内してくれる案内人の羽生蒸溜所の蒸留ジェネラルマネージャーの島崎さん、どうぞお話しください。So welcome, Mr. Shimazaki-san. He is the general manager for distillation at羽生蒸溜所,羽生Distillery. And today he will give us a general walkthrough the process and also talk about the backgrounds of羽生蒸溜所. I think this is a very famous distillery that you may have heard already, but let's get the story out from Shimazaki-san. So, Shimazaki-san, ありがとうございます。
よろしくお願いいたします。
よろしくお願いします。今日はじゃあ、まずはですね、島崎さんにこちらでですね、自分の羽生蒸溜所のことをちょっとご紹介していただいてですね、はい、そこから、次のステップとしてはプロセスを教えていただいてというところで書いていただければ、ぜひよろしくお願いします。
まず、弊社はですね、創業したのが、同時代、初期1625年、秩父市で、製紙作りですね、を始めました。
僕、英語でやらなきゃいけないので。もう、何年 ?1625 年。もうこの場所でですか？
いえ、それは、埼玉県内にある秩父。
So,羽生Distillery, the origin can be traced back into the 1600s when it was established in the Chichibu area in Saitama Prefecture.
で、その後ですね、1941年になりまして、この羽生地に移転している。
Then, in 1941, they have moved the羽生Distillery. Well, 1946 actually. 1946 moved羽生Distillery to this location a place called Hanyu and also Saitama Prefecture.
ウイスキー自体はですね、1946年に製造免許をその後、輸入した原酒をブレンドして商品化しています。
So for the whiskey distillery business, it was established in 1946, and they acquired a license to establish this operation, and since then have been operating.
で、自分に対して、ウイスキー作りをしたいということで、1980年に設備をというのを開始しました。
In 1980s, they decided that they want to make their own whiskey, which back in the days were still very few distilleries in Japan, in fact. And since the 1980s, they've established and constructed the distillery for whiskey, and then have been in manufacturing operations for distillation for whiskey.
その80年代というのは、日本国内でウイスキーブームというのをして、その後ですね、東亜市場が東のいうふうに言われるようになる。地図いただいたと。
そうですね。
ぐらいになります。はい。
So in the 1980s, there was a big whiskey boom in Japan. And out of all the whiskey distilleries, Hanyu Distillery has been crowned as one of the best distilleries in the East. And then, of course, with its brand Golden Horse, it has been gaining support in Japan and also outside Japan, overseas as well.
でその後ですね、日本国内のウイスキー市場というのはかなり縮小していきまして、うちもそこで、なかなか売り上げをということで、
But after 1980s, we see a contraction in the whiskey industry and also in whiskey consumption here in Japan. So unfortunately, we had to focus and stop the whiskey business, the manufacturing business, by 2000.
で、これまでの間ですね、いろいろございまして、いつか人が製造を始めたということで、今まで来たわけですけれども、ようやくですね、なんとか、経営の方も安定してきましたし、当社の主力である政治もいろいろと評価がいただきましたので、ここで再開させるという。
再開されたのは、
それ自体は今年の2月に製造をされた。
So, but the dream for whiskey manufacturing has always existed there for Hanyu Distillery, and it was difficult at the time in 2000. But up to recently, the main product for Hanyu Distillery's Japanese wine business has taken off very nicely, and other businesses have been performing very well as well, and therefore the management team and also the staff wanted to reopen the operation and the manufacturing of whiskey distillation. So in this year, February, this whiskey distillation business has reopened again to create the first batch of Hanyu Distillery whiskeys since 2000.
ウイスキーの作りを再開させました。で今回、ウイスキーを再開させるにあたって、3つのポイントがありまして、まず1つ目としましては、私を含めてですね、以前、休止した時の製造のメンバーがまだ残っていたということになります。それと2つ目としましては、その当時のボットスチールのレジ面ですね、 手書きの図面なんですけれども、それが弊社に戻っていましたので、これを、作ってもらった製造メーカーの方、そちらの方に今回することができるということになります。それと、最後3つ目になるんですけれども、同じ敷地内で、同じ水や環境で熟成させることができるということで、今回生存されたということになっています。
So the very important 3 points for this new honey distilled whiskey is that number 1, the same staff is also that manufactured and produced this whiskeys in the 1980s and 90s are now the same staff and the same team is making the new Haneu's whiskey. And also the pastille that the Haneu distillery now uses is exactly the same specification and same shape, same size, and same even manufacturer as the ones that used before, so that they can remake the taste and of the whiskeys that it was used to produce before. And then finally, the water and then also the water tank and water systems that they use in the 80s and previously is also made exactly in the same location, makes it the same thing. So the new whiskeys that we are getting out right now can be pretty much exactly the same 20 years ago. And that's something that we really look forward to, because I'm going to ask Shimazaki-san that, one of the most famous Haneu distilleries manufactured product was the car series back in before times that they were making whiskeys for Ichiro's malts. So is that going to be the same quality? So that's something that I'm going to ask Shimazaki-san. So 皆さん多分海外の方たちもやっぱりイチローズモルトのカードシリーズの前、この羽生蒸留所で作られたっていう羽なんですけれども、ああいうようなやっぱ品質のクオリティの高いものをこれからやっぱり生産される可能性があるということでしょうか。
当然、その同じ環境をで作っていきますので、そういった品質のいいものっていうのは当然成長はしていきます。
Yes. So of course that's it's in the same location with the same facility, with the same equipment and the same people. So Shimazaki-san is aiming for the best of the best qualities for Haneu's whiskey products. 他に何かご紹介することはHaneuについて何でしょうか。何かありますか。もしなければもうプロセスの方に入っちゃいましょうかなと思います。Okay, so that is for the time being to introduction of the Haneu distillery. And now we actually want to get a closer look at the manufacturing process. So Shimazaki-san is going to give us a tour of the process. Great. じゃあ、ツアーの方をお願いいたします。
今始めさせていただきます。今、目の前にある装置ですね。こちらはマスタンロイテと言いまして、
マスタンロイテマスタンロイテ。
粉砕した麦芽とお湯を混ぜ合わせて麦芽の糖化を促します。
So this tank is where the malt is being crushed, and then この中でもうあれするんですよね。
粉砕した麦芽がこの部屋で粉砕されます。
So the next door is where that the malt is being crushed. この中だとお湯と粉砕された麦芽が一緒になって、でそこで糖を取り出すという工程になります。So in this process where the crushed malt is being input in this tank with water, and then to extract sugar out of it. So fermentation. 発酵
発酵はしない。はい。純粋に糖を取り出す。
はい、わかります。So here is just to get the sugar out from the malt.
はい。で、ここで投下された麦汁を粉砕した麦芽がろ過層となって、下にどんどん麦汁が取れていきます。それが隣の発酵室へ運ばれる。
そしたらその時の麦汁の中には糖分
がいっぱいある。
So after this process, we'll have the liquids that contains the malt, and also it has the sugar in it. So it's ready for the next process, fermentation, to have the sugar being eaten by bacteria and ferments. はい、じゃあ次ですね。This is water.
こちらが発酵室になります。
This is the fermentation room.
発酵させるタンクが5基設置されておりまして、これを順番に仕込みを行っているようになります。
そうすると順番というのは1回こうで発酵して、次にもう1回発酵して、
1日1バッチという形です。例えば今日1番、明日は2番、明後日は3番。
5日間かかる。
いや、発酵期間はその5日ないし6日っていうふうに、そこはスケジュール決めて。
なので、額から見ると、1回1つのタンクで6日間、
そうです。
発酵されるということです。So, there are 5 tanks that you can see here that use for the fermentation from the liquid that we extracted from the malts, and it contains sugar. And usually it will stay in this tank for about 5 to 6 days to go through the fermentation process. So there are 5. So each day, so each one is one batch. So every day we do like one batch. So there's like 5 days we can usually finish to fill it all up, and then the first days that filled batch will be out because it's already 5 or 6 days. So today we have the 4th tank. That's the tank that we are putting the newly liquefied the malt and the sugar containing liquids in, and starting the fermentation process. 大体1つのタンクでどのぐらいのこの1つのタンクで量っていうのを出せるんですか？
大体物見の数量は大体6000リットルになります。
So in terms of the amount, it's 6,000 liters by volume of the malt. そしたらアウトプットするときにはどのぐらいの樽になるんですか？
おおよそ2本から3本の間ぐらいになる。
So when you convert that into the output cask amount, you usually can make about 2 to 3 casks per batch of this fermentation tank. このアウトプットっていうのがもう、お酒になる。
そうですね。発酵を終えたものは隣の蒸留室に行きまして、蒸留ということで、
ある意味ここでもう発酵させたものがビールみたいな感じなんですか？
そうです。イメージとしてはビール。
イメージとしてはアウトプットがビールみたいな。
はい。モルト100%とても
そうなビールですね。So in a sense, the outputs from this tank is like beer. So it's already containing alcohol, and it's 100% malted beer, basically. So with that output, it goes into the next process.
そうですね。はい。これが、
this is the same shape, same manufactured pot still that's as the 1980s that they've been used to manufacture whiskeys in the Hanyu distillery in this place.
で、隣で発酵を終えたものにが、そちらの大きな釜に入ります。それで、1日間していきます。
So the first, when it comes out of the fermentation tank, the liquids will, or the beer-like liquid, will go into the right side of the tank, the bigger one, which is pot still. And then to have the first distillation, the first round of distillation of the bigger one.
そうですね。はい。で、その1回目の蒸留を終えた液が今度は隣の釜に入りまして、を取り出していきます。
So after, of course, the pot still distillation, the alcohol concentration will go higher, and then that liquid alcohol will come into the second pot still, which is on the left-hand side. And then we'll start another round of distillation in this smaller pot still to the left.
その蒸留なんです。こちらの蒸留ですけれども、樽に詰めるものはいいところに取りたいということですので、蒸留のスタートしたとき、それと後半部分っていうものは取り除いて、真ん中の香りのいい部分だけを取り出しています。それが何であそこに溜まっていくような。
Okay, so well, there are 3 tanks if the camera can come closer. The ones that the closest to us is the one that we cut off the top and the bottom of the liquids that's distilled from this pot still, the last pot still, and then take the best parts to be stored inside the closest one tank to us. So this is the best part.
で、その先ほど言ったその真ん中以外の頭の部分と後半の部分は真ん中のタンクに集めまして、その次の次回の蒸留の方にまた左側の釜に入れて蒸留を繰り返すというふうに。
So the next tank, the tank in the middle, is the one that stores the top and the bottom portion of the distilled alcohol, which is to be re-inputted into the left-hand side of the 2 pot stills on the left side, which is the smaller one, pot still, and put it back in there to do another round of distillation. So that goes back and then comes another round of distillation.
で、この釜のところ、接合部、男女部分ですね、が青色に染まって色付けされてますけれども、これ、羽生市、地元の羽生がもともと藍染めの産地ということで、明治から弊社してるんですけれども、藍染めに色付けさせてもらっています。
Okay, so if you can see the coloring into the intersection between the different parts of the distillation pot still is in the deep blue color, and that color is the color of this local province and the local Hanyu district, and also this color is also the Hanyu district's famous aizome color. So that's why they changed that color into the particular blue color to reflect its locality. That's a nice color that's matching with the copper sort of metallic effect. すごく合うような色ですね。
そうですね。
So in other distillation distilleries, we probably wouldn't see that. So actually, I have a question. I can see those sort of alcohol coming out. Is that where you're tasting
the outputs from the pastille to see where you make the cut. 下の方にこの2つすごくファンシーないい形のこのテイスティングを取れそうなところがあるんですけど、それでテイスティングしてそのカットオフがどこになるのかっていうのを判断してるんでしょうか。
そうですね、そうでもありますし、今その途中経過になりますけれども、今流出している液がどのぐらいのアルコール度数であるのかっていうものを確認する場所でもあります。
Okay, so not only that they check it for quality, but also they check for the alcohol content of the liquid to make sure that it reaches a certain alcohol content to be able to put into the tanks on the left. I want to ask that how do they know if something is coming to the middle part, the hard part, and to be stored, and which one is to be cut off? And that's the question I want to ask. どういうふうにそのトップとボトムのパーツがこの切れ目っていうのをどういうふうに分かるんですか？非常にあれなんですけど、どういう指標なのか、それともこの口当たりでなんかもうここはもうカットかなみたいな。
口当たりというよりも香りを優先してます。
Wow. So, from Shimazaki-san, he says, well, I was asking, so how do you know where to cut off? Because is it measured by alcohol level or how much it tastes, the different tasting? But apparently it's neither. And the answer is what you can actually smell from the alcohol liquid. And I think that is the part where it's most interesting and then requires skills from the people working here to actually know exactly where to cut off. Yeah.
よろしいですか。はい。
Now we're coming to where the final product is being stored and put into test.
こちらが樽の貯蔵庫になります。
So this is a place where the tasks are being stored, and I can see all the UniCask managed tasks that are being stored here. It's wonderful. もうこの UniCask で管理されているタスクが、もうここに全部入ってますね。
そうですね。
綺麗に並んで、非常に気持ちがいいですし、これから楽しみっていう感じですよね。
これがどう増えていくんですか。
So yeah, we're gonna have more and more of them on UniCask, and we're excited about this actually.
隣で蒸留されていたこちらのタンクに保管されて、それでいつも混ざる。
So the tanks that's being filled will come here, and all the different batches will be mixed together to lower the variations in different tasks, and then it will be filled in with the task, filled in the task, and then be placed here. そういう意味では一旦平均化して中にタスクの中にお酒を入れると思うんですけれども、実際に熟成した後はやっぱ味は個別に違いが出てくるんですよ。
徐々に変わりが出てくるかもしれない。そこはなんとも正直そうですよね。
まあそういう意味ではある程度のちょっとバリエーションというか、それが面白さが出てくるかもしれないということですね。So after, of course, it's being filled inside the cask and stored here, there will be variations for the aging, and depending on the kind of cask, and also the depending on a lot of environmental factors, that's the whiskey itself will start to have different tastes, and that's kind of interesting for the cask business and cask. Because some of them, each of them has a different pattern and have a different life, and that's very interesting. こちらの熟成なんですけれども、イギリスのスコッチウイスキーですと、やっぱり温度差がそんなに、ないと言えばあるんですけど、ちょっと少ない例じゃないですか。で、やっぱり羽生は埼玉にありますので、ちょっと温度差が少しあるような 形で、夏の冬もあるとか、そうすると熟成がちょっと早いものになっちゃうんでしょ
オープニングが早まるかもしれませんし、
まあ、そんなにこの著しくっていう形でもない。
そうですね、夏は確かに暑いですけれども、冬は冬で、かなり寒くなります。そういった温暖差が激しい。面白いです。
確かにそうですよね。確かに。So the difference from the original Scotch whiskey in UK is that in Scotland, where the temperature difference is between the summer and the winter is not that large. But here in Japan, in Saitama, the temperature difference between the summer temperature and the winter temperature is quite something. And I was wondering if that will accelerate the maturation and aging of the whiskey, and if it's a good thing or not. And then the comment was that we don't see exactly super accelerated maturation even with the temperature difference, but definitely it will add a different type of taste to and then differentiate from the original Scotch whiskey. And I think that might be the colorfulness of the Japanese whiskey that's a lot of people love about, and that's created because of that difference in temperature. And we never know for sure, so you have to maybe taste it for yourself. ありがとうございます。Thank you very much. So now that we've seen it and we've seen it stored, maybe it's time that we taste it. Although right now it's still just distilled, so it's not exactly whiskey yet. But I can see that we have the just out of pot still whiskey from honey here, and maybe we can have some taste. ここでちょっと少し試し飲みしてみましょうか。はい、これも今年生産されたものですよね。もうつい最近ですよね。
本当直近ですね。これがもう樽詰めを待っている状態の液になります。
So this is the whiskey that's not filled in the cask yet, and waiting to be filled in the cask. So you can see it's very transparent. It's water-like. And then let me smell. Actually, its aroma. It's actually stronger than the cask whiskey, right? すごいなんかアロマが強いですよね。アロマが強いです。やっぱ度数は結構いってますね。何度ぐらいですか？11度ぐらいですかね。So this is quite strong. I was asking, what's the alcohol strength? It's about 61%. So it's great. And I can see how this thing is going to be a wonderful whiskey after aging in the casks. And I think it will be very interesting to have this, and in maybe 5 to 8 years, it'll come very good. 何年ぐらいはやっぱり熟成が一番楽しみですか？という作られた、羽生蒸で作られたタスクっていうのは、一番何年ぐらいのものをやっぱり飲んでいただきたいという感じですか？
そうですね。定期的には確認していきます。その1年と2年と3年と。よく確認していますけど、そのベストなところっていうのは探っていきたいなと思っています。一つは夢を目指す。
飲めるようになる。そこからもうやっぱり年月が経つにするでもっと良くなるんじゃないかっていう伝える
こともありますし、ベストが本当に何年目かっていうのは、
これから探っていきます。So, of course, the whiskey we can already start drinking it around 5 years, and then we'll also look forward to longer maturation if possible and see how it'll come out. We'll never know. We'll find out. I think And we're hopeful that this high quality whiskey will bring another Hanu's whiskey boom into the world. I think that would be very interesting and exciting things to see. Thank you very much. ありがとうございます。So, aside from Hanu's introduction today, I think actually I should have posted out and mentioned that we have voting for aside of the whiskeys, what kind of spirits you want UniCask to carry. Whether it be spirits and alcohol, be wine or rum or tequila or brandy. So please use the voting button for livesola. And if you're watching this with livesola's access, you can vote and throw out the casks and to vote which options that you like more, so we would know. And thank you for voting. And while you're voting, actually, we are going to select the lucky people who can get our free NFTs. And we're giving out, I think, 5 NFTs. And also a lucky small sample bottle of cognac to the luckiest person in this event. So please do that. And if you don't know how to do it, please ask on the chat. And also you can check out on our Twitter to find out how you can vote on livesola. So maybe actually we're already on the 40. So we're going to add another 10 more minutes for some of the questions that we received from our Discord community. And if you have more questions, please send it through the YouTube, but maybe we cannot answer it, we'll try. Okay, so let me check. What are the questions? So I think a lot of them are answered. So number one is that, so for the whiskey distilled at the Honey Distillery, how would you want the whiskeys to be drank? Whether, I guess, he's probably asking about whether you want to have it on the rock or to have it sodawari or some other ways of drinking it. どういうふうにこの作られたウイスキーを飲んでほしいですかっていう質問ですね。どういうものに飲んでいけますか？
これは正直もう手にされたお客様の好き、好みにしないように試していただければいいから。
もし島崎さんだったらどういうふうに言っていいですか？
そしたらウイスキーでそうですね、まずはストレートに使う。少しずつだけできれば楽しい。
So Shimazaki-san, of course, being nice and polite, says, of course, according to the person who drinks it, whatever way that you like it, then please drink it. But ask him. So for you personally, how would you drink it? So the answer is, well, his opinion. He likes it to first, if you want to enjoy the aroma, and then the straight is definitely the way to go, and then you can taste the aroma of this wonderful high quality whiskey, or you can taste it with on the rock so that it can slowly be diluted, and you can taste the different gradients of the whiskey mixture with water and have this interesting experience and taste. So I think both of them are good. I think, yeah, that answer. It's asking what we're going to do with the gamification and then the app release. And what happens when you play the game. Okay, so these are probably people who are interested in learning about it. もう一つの質問ですけど、これは多分UniCaskの方に対する質問なんですけど、私たちのUniCaskのアプリ上で少しゲーミフィケーションをできるということで、これがじゃあどういうふうにこのウイスキーと関係するかっていう質問があってですね。で、UniCaskの中で、
日本のファンの方たちと一緒に、楽しみながらですね、お酒の熟成を待って、やっていくっていうのを、試みをしておりますと。で、その中で、ゲーミフィケーションの具体的なルールは、また、ウェブサイトと、ディスコードを、ツイッターで告知いたしますが、その中でも、我々のですね、この NFT を持って、このゲーミフィケーションに勝った方っていうのは、お酒のですね、サンプルっていうのをご用意しておりまして、そういうのを提供する、つもりでございます。そうすると、熟成している間も、もしかしたらちょっとどんなテイストなのかなみたいなものが、少し皆さんにわかるような仕組みになっておりますので、そちらの方をぜひ楽しみにお待ちいただければというふうに思っております。で、時期的なものなんですけども、スケジュール的には、まず、アプリの方はもうすでにユーザー登録が可能でございます。ユーザー登録のリンクは、この YouTube 配信の、詳細のところにリンクが入ってますので、まず、ユーザー登録をしてください。で、販売は、実際には12月から、第一発目、これは、羽生蒸溜所のものではなく、スプリングバンクのものを一発目として販売いたしますけれども、羽生蒸溜所の、カスクもその後に、公開いたしますので、ぜひお楽しみくださいというところですね。で、あとはゲーミフィケーションの方はですね、来年の1月から、もう始まる予定でございますので、そちらももう近々で多分今月末か、12月には、どういうふうに、ゲームをやるのかっていう具体的なルールを皆さんに公開いたしますので、ぜひお楽しみください。So for the question, sorry, it's Japanese and English and it's getting long. And this will be the last question that we'll answer is, so for the gamification part, we are releasing the detailed rules about gamification end of this month and the beginning of or early next month. However, what I can say for sure is that during this gamification, the winners of the game will receive samples from the casks that they are involved. And I think that will allow the winners to have a taste of how the cask tastes like while it's aging. I think this is a wonderful experience for the cask owners. And also for our scheduling of the release for app, the app is already ready for registration. So if you have time, please check our link in this live streaming page, and then you can log on to our website and then create your account. And from there, in December, we'll definitely make our first Genesis cask purchasable to everybody. And but there's limited amounts, so you better hurry to register first. So in next year, January, our gamification will actually start. So hope everybody is looking forward to that. And I think the time is already past our scheduled time, and we'll cut out the questions. And thank you very much for watching this live streaming. This is our second time at Hanyu Distillery, and hope you enjoyed it. And soon, I think we'll have our third live broadcasting, and I hope you stay tuned to our YouTube and Twitter and Discord accounts, and we'll release that information as well. So look forward to see you again. Thank you very much for watching us today. Thank you. じゃあ今日はありがとうございます。またぜひこちらの商品を世界の皆さんにお届けしたいので、よろしくお願いします。よろしくお願いします。ありがとうございます。バイバイ。